Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, the Python Gurukul. Today we'll be talking about Python variables. Also, we'll be going through strings, constants, and the commands. And these things are very basics and very important for the Python. So let's start with the variable. So what is a variable? A variable is just a placeholder which is connected to a value, which is the information associated with that variable. So what we do, we try to assign one name and then we keep the value inside the name. And Python gives us the feature we don't have to worry about what type of value we are going to store. These things happen under the hood. It is up to us what all the values we want to assign. Python internally takes care of defining the categories, allocating the memories, and storing them. So let's take a couple of examples. In this example, we are looking at one of the variable where we are keeping a value and we are just printing. But let's see some interesting aspect. What we are going to do, we are going to assign some variable x, assign some value 10, another variable y, assign some value hello, and another variable g, and there I'm going to store some float number. So now we have X, Y, Z, and the beauty of the Python is we don't have to define, we don't have to allocate the memory well in advance. We can just on the fly, we can go ahead and define one variable and start using that. Let's see what has happened underneath. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to check the first variable X and see what it returns. It is saying that the variable what I defined first is of type integer. Let's take a look at the second one. Second one was the y, and now it is string. Let's take a look at the third one. It is the float. So what we did, we just on the fly, we assigned the value, and now Python takes care of everything underneath. Let's move on. As it is very important, even if you're writing one line of the program, variable play a very important role. We need to understand some basics, do's and don'ts. So we have some rules and some guidelines. Rules we have to follow, guidelines are good to follow. So the first I have noted down here is that names can contain letters, numbers, and underscore. Can start with letter or an underscore, but not with a number. What we are just saying that we can have x x1 equal to 100, but we cannot have 1x equal to 100. It's error. We equal to 10. And also we can start with underscore. So let's say underscore x and then assign some value 100. They are the beauty. Let's move on the second one. Spaces are not allowed in the name. We are not supposed to write x space 1 and then have some value. This is not. If we have something like that, then we can use x underscore 1 or some other separator, but we cannot use the spaces. Next one, we should not be using any keyword, any function name. I'll show an example. So now we know that print is used to just print any messages. And now we know the message will complete. But what I did, I defined one variable 100 and I'm going to sign the value. Now I'll use the print. I got the value. But what will happen if I say that print welcome Python? It will throw the error. So we have to make sure that we are not using any function name, we are not using any key. And the last one, um, variable names should be short but descriptive. I've given one example. One view is better than OV, and enclosure group is better than easy. So try to keep short name, but it should be descriptive. Let's move on. So string, as we are learning about the variables, string plays really important roles while communicating some messages or sending some data. We always interact with the strings. We'll be just learning very few basics strings functions. Anything enclosed inside the single or double bracket will be treated as a string, and few uh, commonly used functions are a title, which will change whatever we have in the form of title. Upper will change everything in uppercase. Lower will change everything in lowercase. So let's take a look at the one variable MSG. I'm defining one variable message, and then we are going to assign welcome to Gurukul Public School. So now I'm going to change this message to title. Just invoking the title function on that, and now we see that all the words in the string will start with the capital letter. And the next one is upper. MSG upper will change everything to uppercase. MSG lower will change everything to the lowercase. So that's all about the string. Let's move on. Now, it's always required that we have to mix some of the strings with variables. The very basic example we have that Facebook 1.1. I just randomly took one version name. This may remain the same or may change, but most of the time our variable or our version or our date will be changing. So for that reason, we will be defining name and then we will keep using them. So what we are doing here, we have message which will be static, we have version which will be changing. So we want to combine them. We can use the print and then messages. We can use the messages, do the concatenation and then print them. But somehow we have to find a way how we can use the messages and the version together. Let's take a quick look. What I'm doing here, I'll just do the Python once again. Let's clear the screen, bring the Python once again. And now I'm going to say message Facebook and then I'm going to say version equal to 1.00 and let's say banner equal to, and we can say that MSG and maybe space, and then we'll be saying that version. So this way we are just combining two string, which one has the static part, another has the version part, and then we can see say print banner. Okay, and let's say now our version got changed. Version is 1.10. So we got the version. I'm going to call the banner again. Okay, and then we are going to call the print. So this is the beauty. This part is just static and another part is variable and we are keep changing. Let's move on. Um, Stripping, it's very important whenever we are transitioning the data from one place to another place. Reading from the database, writing to the web page, or reading from the web page, writing to the any database. We have to make sure that whatever we are expecting, we are getting that. For that purposes, we use strip. We have strip, left strip, R strip. So strip is just stripping from the both side. L is only stripping from the left side. R is only stripping from the right side. Let's take a quick look. So I'm going to define one message and message with a bunch of spaces. Hello. And then now I'm going to say message dot strip. This one will take care of stripping from the both sides. Once again, I'll initialize the message. This time I'm going to call the L strip. It will strip only from the left side. Once again, I'm going to reinitialize the variable and then call the R strip. And this time only we'll see the strip from the right side. So we can see that now we don't have a space in the right side. We don't have a space in the left side. We don't have space both sides. So this was the stripping. Let's move on. This is another very important which we'll be frequently using. Adding the white spaces to make the message more readable. Wherever we need lots of spaces, we'll be using slash t. Wherever we need new lines, we'll be using the slash n. So let's take a quick look. Let's say we want to print some messages and we want these messages in a two different lines. So what I did, face will be in the first line, book will be the part of the second line. Let's print that. If we want to print in the same line but with space with the tab, then we can use the slash t and we can do the same. Here again, I have given uh, lots of examples here. Only I want to showcase that Python give us the flexibility to do the calculation on the fly. We don't have to define variables and then do the operation. We are just directly using the numbers, using the operators, and we are getting the value. So let's take a look. 10 plus 20. We do not need the calculator now. If you have Python, we can do the calculation on the go. So this is the beauty of the Python. We don't have to define the things well in advance. On the fly, we can go ahead and we can use. One very interesting and new thing maybe we have not seen in other languages is uh, we can write the 100 as this as well. It will be treated as 100. So let's say 100 plus 1000. And then what I'm going to do, not this one. So this way we can separate to make it more readable and then we can do the operation on that. Another very interesting and very useful feature, we can do the multiple assignment in one go. So now I'm defining three variable x, y, and z. And on the go, I'm assigning 11 to x, 22 to y, 33 to z. Yeah, let's see. X equal to 11, z equal to 33. That's what we are talking about. And the constant. So we don't have constant key defined in the Python as we have in other languages. But what we follow the guideline, if we are defining anything in the capital letter, it will be considered or it will be understand as a constant. And we have to make sure that we are not overwriting. So print the robot. 0, 0. Okay. The last but very important and it will be very useful to make our code more readable. Comment is a very powerful feature in all programming languages. Python has two options. One, we can do the single line. Another, we have the multiple line. Single line, start with the hash. Multiple line, start with the three quotes. Keep writing whatever comments we have. And then close the comment section by another three quotes. So with that said, that's all I have. Thank you all for watching. If you like the video, please share and subscribe. Thank you.